Vikings-Eagles. Eagles favored by 3 at home, over under 45.5. So the Vikings in their first 5 games, I think coming into the season, you could have reasonably argued that the 4 best teams in the NFC were the Eagles, the Rams, the Vikings, and the Packers. Okay? The Vikings have those other 3 on the road in their first 5 weeks. They played at LA, they played at Green Bay, and they're playing at Philly. And I think that if we look at the Vikings record and we worry about them, we got to take that into account. I mean, that's a rough gauntlet to start the season, don't you think?
Yeah, plus you got to play Buffalo, so that's always going to be a tough game too. Right?
They lost to Josh Allen of all those people.
No, you're right. It's a tough schedule. It's that's what happens when you're a good team. The year before, you got to play a tougher schedule.
Yep.
The tie was difficult, and I think it mentally maybe may have been a little bit of draining. I don't know. I think so much of it is about the defense with the Vikings, but that the offense has been solid. I mean, Kirk Cousins has been pretty good. He's got a lot of weapons around him. Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen are good weapons for him. Plus, I think what really helps Minnesota this week is they have that 10-day rest. Playing the Thursday night game last week, get themselves a little bit healthier, get themselves a little more rested. Philly is struggling a little bit. I like the Vikings here. I think they're gonna win straight up.
Me too. I mean, Dalvin Cook might be on a little bit of a limited snap count if he plays, so we got to watch that. The only other injury that Trey Waynes, the Vikings corner, concussion protocol, didn't practice Wednesday. We're doing this. If you're watching live, but it's Thursday, 11:16 right now Eastern. So I don't know the status of Trey Waynes right now, the latest. The Eagles are just not playing well. Jason Peters, he's got quad issue, so that could. But the Eagles' offensive line has struggled. The Eagles in general have struggled. They have not been. Not Super Bowl hangover. I don't want to get into that stuff, but they haven't been the same. And I look at this, and the Vikings, the way they've started, the Vikings got to get on it. I mean, this is a team that basically came into the season saying, "Hey, quarterback was the last piece. Now we're a Super Bowl contender, and they're 1-2-1, and they got to get this game. I want to say must win, but it's pretty close. And the Eagles, the way the Eagles been struggling, when I looked at this, the slate for this week, this was one of the easier calls for me. I'm going with the Vikings.
No, and you've talked about the desperation games, and certainly this will qualify for Minnesota. You don't want to be 1-3-1 with Chicago potentially being, Chicago being 3-1 and having to really kind of catch up there. It's the one thing that the Eagles have done good is the run again, the defense against the run. So I'm not sure how much the Dalvin Cook thing really matters. Dalvin Cook's going to be really, really good for it to matter. So I think a lot of it is going to fall on Kirk Cousins. As for the Eagles, I mean, getting Alshon Jeffrey back was big last week. 8 catches, 105 yards, a touchdown.
Yep.
But you're right. I mean, their offensive line is not protecting Carson Wentz. 9 sacks in the last 2 games. The Vikings, we know, should be able to rush the passer. I think it's going to be tough for the Eagles. And like I said, I think that 10-day stretch that Minnesota gets, I think it's going to be a big factor, especially them going on the road. I like the Vikings.
Yep, I'm with you. Okay, we've got experts here, 53% Eagles, fans, 56% Eagles. So, you know what? You're all wrong, everybody.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like I guess the tide has turned a little bit as far as how people see the Vikings. You said, coming in the year, they're one of the favorites to win the NFC. Now it's like, Eagles this can be a tough game, but now it's like, I wonder how much the loss of Buffalo really made people kind of rethink that. I think that was a really bad loss, and I think it told us more about Minnesota than did about Buffalo in that game.
I think you're right. I mean, and that was just it was such a fluky game. So, they lost to the Rams by a touchdown. No shame in that.
Maybe it was a fluky game, but maybe that told us a little bit about Minnesota too.
Right. But you look at the other 2 games, the tie, you go, all right, they tied at Green Bay. That's, acceptable.
Yeah.
They lost by a touchdown at the Rams. I mean, fair. It's not like you say, oh, they stink because they did. I mean, the Rams are really good, and it was a road game. So, I don't know. Yeah, I like the Vikings. I'm still in on the Vikings. They have my faith that as bad as that Bills game was, my faith has not been shaken there. I think they can still. I still think the Rams are better, but I think they're probably the second best team in the conference, or they will be.
Yep.